Students, in today's video lecture, we will discuss the Rocky Value Survey and the theory of propounded by Milton Rocky in terms of instrumental values and in terms of terminal values. In the field of management, various people from different fields have contributed their might. For example, a mathematician, his modeling theory or maybe his gaming theory has been used very successfully in the production management. If some of you will go for the master's course in business administration, you will read about PERT and CPM, Program Evaluation Research Technique, and CPM, which is Critical Path Method, in planning. You will also read sometimes a Gantt chart as to what is meant by Gantt chart. So, experts from various fields have contributed to enrich the thought process in management. As management comprises mostly of men, material, and machine, and the most important being the first M, which is mankind, human capital. So, various sociologists and psychologists and psychiatrists have contributed immensely in the development of the great and interesting field of management. As we are discussing business values and corporate social responsibility in this subject, we will come across a very interesting concept of instrumental values and terminal values. But first, about the man who coined these terms. His name was Milton Rocky. Some people pronounce it Milton Rockich also, but it's a Jewish name, and I found out that the correct pronunciation is Rocky. He was born in 1918 in Poland to Jewish parents. And when he was around 18 to 20 years of age, the family migrated to United States of America. In 1973, he wrote a book which is called The Nature of Human Values, and it contained the Rocky Value Survey. In this survey, he posited that there are some few terminal human values which are actually internal reference points that every man uses, and he formulates his attitudes and opinions based upon this. So, these human values can be ranked for every person. So, he gave a set of terminal values and he says various people rank these values. So, if somebody gives position ranking number 1 to a particular value, so that means he attaches most importance to this value. And based upon that, there are 18 values. And to achieve this terminal values, he said there are certain instrumental values. Again, these are ranked. This is called the Rocky Value Survey. And he used a rather large data of citizens in United States, and he used the random sampling method and also stratified sample, and he arrived at this conclusion, and he said that the behavior of people in day-to-day life is largely governed by their terminal human values, and to achieve those terminal human values, there are some instrumental values. It has been said and that the contribution by Milton Rocky and his contribution to the field of psychology and specially applied psychology, from which management draws so much of its wealth. He has been cited as among the top 100 psychologists of all times by a recent Journal Psychology survey. Milton Rockey, he taught at Michigan State University, University of Western Ontario, and University of Southern California. His PhD was from University of California, Berkeley. He said that values are largely stable and distinctive values for end state of existence and specific modes of behavior to achieve them are different among people, but a common set can be drawn. One set of terminal values and one set of instrumental values can easily be drawn, and everyone conforms to these values. If you remember, in one of the lectures we had discussed about if there are any universal values which are common all over the world, and we came across seven values. So, but in the field of psychiatry and psychology, you break down all the values, you go deeper and you break them down into smaller components. So although it's a bit complicated, but the final results or the final values which are listed down are very simple to understand, and you can correlate it in your day-to-day life. In the next slides, we will talk about what are those instrumental values and what are those terminal values. As I explained, terminal values, they refer to the desired end state of existence. Most people, consciously, subconsciously, or even unconsciously, they have in their mind as to when they are in the last leg of their life or their careers, what is the end state of their life or their career, or a particular junction of their career. How is it that they would like their end state to be like? Would they want a peaceful existence, or would they want to have achieved something incredible, name, fame, or would they want that by the time they retire, they should have a peaceful family life? So, terminal values refers to the end state of existence. Existence does not only mean or always mean the end stage of your life. Okay, so these are some of the final goals you want to achieve during your lifetime. And when I say during your lifetime, it could be during your career. These values, they vary among different groups in different cultures. Let me explain to you like this. Suppose there is you are a football player, you are playing in La Liga. Okay, so somebody's ambition can be that he would like to be known as the biggest goal scorer of all times. So it is not the end state of his life, but is end state of his footballing career. Understand? There could be another player who could have a end state of existence in which he wants to play for one particular club, and he wants to be widely respected. He wants to remain in the team for all times, and he wants that he should be a role model for the other players. Now, these two values, these two end states of existence, they are not in conflict with each other, but somebody can rank, okay, I want to be Cristiano Ronaldo, or I want to be Messi, or I would like to be some other name. I would like to be as controversial as Maradona, or I like to be as respected as Pele was. So these are end states of existence. Somebody who's a cricketer, he may think that he would like to be remembered as a swashbuckling batsman. And somebody would say that I would like to remain in this cricket team for a long time, and even though I may not make a phenomenal contribution, I would like to be known as a person who played for the team, so well respected that when I hang up my boots as a cricketer, I would like to make a transition from being a cricket player to being a coach or a cricket administrator. If you see some of the players, how they played their cricket and what are they doing now, you will have an understanding of how they rank the terminal values in their lives. Saurav Ganguly, the Indian captain who once took out his shirt and he waved it at the English crowd, he is today at the helm of Board of Cricket Control of India. He was driven by leadership qualities. He wanted to achieve leadership positions in his life even when he was playing cricket and after he had retired from playing cricket. Look at somebody like Sunil Gavaskar. He always wanted an active lifestyle. He was a great accumulator of runs and he was playing in an era when India used to play not to win but to avoid defeats. That was the mindset. He is one of the most respected, most knowledgeable cricket commentators of our times, who is wooed not only by Indian television channels but also by foreign television channels. So, terminal values can vary, and if you ask people to rank some of these terminal values, you can make an assessment of how that person's behavior will be or how that person's attitude will be towards life, career, or relationship. In the next slide, we will discuss the list of these 18 terminal values. Let me now enumerate the 18 values, terminal values, the end state, desired end state values, which Milton Rockey said people want to achieve. The first one he says is a comfortable life or a prosperous life. And this is not the ranking, these are values, people can rank them differently. Second one he says an exciting life. This means a stimulating life, an active life, end state life. So you can imagine somebody who will rank a comfortable life as a value at the top will never rank an exciting life as value number two logically if he understands the concept as to what is meant by comfortable life and what is meant by exciting life. So these are two values. Third value he says is a sense of accomplishment. This is a value. Some people may want that once they hang up their boots, once they have retired, or once they have passed from active life to retired life, they must have a sense of accomplishment. They must have made lasting contribution. So a teacher may want that he would want to make a contribution in terms of behavioral change in his students. A student may want that he may pass out of this institute after making some a mark in the college life. If some of you would look back, some of you would look back in your school careers, some of you were very restless that you should do very well in sports, in academics, or in elocution, or in debates, or in any competition, because keenness for social recognition. If you visit your old school, in the lobby you will find a board which is a roll of honor. People who have stood first in academics, or who have won a major debate competition, or who have been most outstanding sportsmen, their name is mentioned and the year is mentioned against that. Some people may be driven by this terminal value. Fourth value, which is says a world of beauty. They want to retire into a beautiful world free of the beauty of nature, it could be, or the beautiful, they want to be surrounded by art and culture which is soothing. A world of peace is another value. They want that the end state should be nothing, but it should be free of war and there should be no conflict. Another terminal value is equality. For some people, this may be a great value. If you see the core terminal value on which America is set to be built is equality and justice. And on the other hand, you see in the society a campaign which is called Black Lives Matter. What is equality? Equality means that there should be general bonhomie, brotherhood, and equal opportunities for all. And yet you find that African Americans, they have disproportionately less stake in terms of per capita income or in terms of the leadership positions which you occupy in the corporate world. I came across a very interesting study in which it was mentioned that among Asians, Indians, Pakistanis and Bangladeshis, and especially Indians, they occupy disproportionately high leadership positions as compared to their population, as compared to Chinese, Filipinos, people from Taiwan or from Korea. And it has been attributed to Indians, Pakistanis and Bangladeshis being more ambitious, they being more communicative, they being more assertive. Okay, so equality is one terminal value. Another terminal value is family security, that you want to see that all your loved ones are taken care of. Family security. Freedom. Freedom means independence. You're free to make choices. Now, family security and freedom. On the face of it, these values appear to be two different values. But can you find the interlink? Somebody who places a lot of premium on family security will not place requisite premium on freedom, on independence. Because if you crave for independence, that means you have to be away from worrying about others, isn't it? And you want to achieve something in life, but then you are held back because of your family responsibilities. One terminal value, which is happiness. Everybody strives for happiness, but contrast or juxtapose happiness with an exciting life. We discussed the value number 2 was after comfortable life and exciting life. Happiness generally comes, they say, from contentedness. Santosham param dhanam. Another value is inner harmony, freedom from internal conflicts. Mature love. Mature love is also a terminal value. National security, which means protection from attacks. Pleasure. Salvation. What is meant by salvation? Eternal life. Moksha. For some people, this may be a terminal value. For some people, they may not even understand the significance of salvation. Self-respect, self-esteem is a terminal value. Self-recognition, social recognition, that you are recognized in the society. True friendship, wisdom. True friendship stands for close companionship, and wisdom stands for a mature understanding of life. Self respect means self esteem. So these are 18 terminal values which Michael Rocky said that people have these values and they accord importance, different amount of importance to each of these values. And if you make a study, if you ask them to rank, you can understand the motivations of that person. Instrumental values are those values which are used, which come into play to achieve these end state values. He says by studying their terminal values, by asking them to rank them, you can make an assessment. Why are we studying all this? Why is it all relevant? When you go for recruitment, when you go for manpower planning, what is happening is, let me tell you that every position in an organization has a set of qualities that a person must possess. So he must possess some experience, he must possess some qualities, set of attitude, which will help him discharge his duties. And there is also something called DISC profile: dynamism or drive, initiative, influence, stability, and compliance. These are some of the qualities which HR expert says all employees have. So D could be drive or dynamism, I could be influence or initiative, S could be stability, and C is compliance. There is something called Thomas profiling, you will read in the HR course. That DISC profile of a person is very important because there is a particular DISC profile which is there for the position, and by asking various set of psychometric questions you can come to know the DISC profile of the candidate. Does the DISC profile of the candidate matches the DISC profile of the position? Let me give you an example. Suppose a company is recruiting an accountant. So what are the qualities of an accountant? An accountant may not be very dynamic, or he may not have much drive, or he may not have much qualities in which he can influence people, or he may not have tremendous initiative. But an accountant, he must have stability component very high and compliance component, isn't it? Stability and compliance component. And if you are assessing a person and by way of analyzing his personality traits, you come to know that he is very high on dynamism but he is low on compliance. That person is ideally not suited to the for the position of accountant. Sometimes some youngsters get dispirited, they go for an interview and they go for the psychological test and they are rejected, and they feel that they are not up to the mark. But it's not a question of that. If you want to hire for a position of a leadership position, for example, if leaders were highly compliant, they would lack in drive or dynamism. Sometimes a leader could be somewhat unstable also, because for them drive is most important and influence, to be able to influence people is very important. You should be able to influence those people also who don't report to you directly. And it is said that DISC profile, there is no person in this earth who has all these four qualities positive. So if D is positive, I is positive, S is positive, C will be negative. These are complicated subjects. I'm just trying to show you a window of how interesting this field of psychology and psychiatry are. So DISC profile, nobody can have four positives or four negatives. What happens if somebody has got very excessive high drive and he's less on influence, he's less on stability, less on compliance? If you will see a great center forward in a hockey team who converts any chance that comes to him in goal, very high on dynamism. Sometimes he may, keep the ball to himself. He may not dribble it across to somebody else, but he's got very high drive. So all qualities of all people, they can have a matching job. I'm explaining to you all this that sometimes it appears that all that we are studying in the theory course is not relevant to what we will do in our future life. But we are giving you just a bird's eye view, and later on the specialization happens. So hope you have understood all about terminal values. Now that we have understood as to what is meant by terminal values or the end state values, let us see what are the values which are instrumental values and which are used to achieve these end results. Instrumental values can be defined as specific methods of behavior, okay? And they are not the end goal, but rather they provide a means by which an end goal is achieved. Let me explain to you in simpler terms. India is playing a test series against, let us say, England. And today is first day of the first test match. And you are the captain of India and you have decided that your end goal is to win this test match, right? Seeing the conditions, the pitch condition and the weather condition in the morning, you feel that you can take advantage of the overcast conditions and you have four fast bowlers. You have Mohammad Shami with you, you have Ishant Sharma, you have Bumrah, and you have Umesh Yadav. That it would be beneficial if you win the toss and you put the opposing team to bat, because you will be in a position to take help of the seaming conditions and take some quick wickets. And you also reckon that to play the fourth inning, to bat on the fifth day or the fourth day will be tough because the pitch would have broken somewhat and it will assist fast bowlers, right? So what is your end goal? It is to achieve victory. And what is the tactics you are adopting? You are going with four fast bowlers. You have won the toss and you are putting your best first bowler Ishant Sharma and Bumrah, and then first change is Shami and then Umesh Yadav or Bhuvneshwar Kumar if you have five seamers, right? So instrumental values are your five bowlers through which you are achieving the end goal of a victory, and then your batsman in the first inning where you are going for a big total, right? So this is the difference between instrumental values and end values. Character traits and personal characteristics such as being imaginative or being independent, they make up most of instrumental values. Rocky developed a list of 18 instrumental values. Just like Rocky developed a list of 18 terminal values, he developed a list of instrumental values. Students, I would like to tell you here that I have observed the question paper of past few years, and these questions have been asked every year, or if not every year, at least three times in the last 5 years. There has been a question, either a descriptive kind of a which requires a descriptive answer which is 10 marks, or short notes of instrumental values and terminal values. And it may look a bit boring, but from the perspective of doing well in the exam also, it is important that we understand the difference between the two. In the next video, I will take you, in the next slide, I will discuss the instrumental values in detail. 18 instrumental values. On top is ambitious. What does ambitious means? That you want to achieve certain status or certain high or certain height in life or in your career. So if you are ambitious enough, you want to top your class, you want to top your college, so you will work hard. And your ambition is reflected in the way you will plan your career or your innings or your time, and it will be reflected in your day to day behavior. You will be pushy, you will be competitive, right? Suppose you're not ambitious, but you want to lead a life, a happy life is a very high priority, your terminal value of happy life. So you may not be so ambitious, then you will rather be cheerful. That is another instrumental value. Light-hearted, joyful. Another instrumental value is broad-mindedness, open-mindedness. If you are open-minded, you are likely to be able to lead a harmonious relationship. A value could be to become competent and effective, and to become capable, developing your capability. So if you want to lead a good retired life, a easygoing, comfortable existence, it will be reflected in your financial planning, isn't it? Cleanliness is also a value. If you think about making a good impression, or if you want to lead a healthy life, if you want a life which is not complicated but logical progression is there, it will reflect in your cleanliness drive. Forgiving, willing to pardon others is an instrumental value. It's a great value. It is said to err is human, to forgive is divine. And if you are forgiving in life, you are likely to lead a life which is saner, which will not give you peptic ulcers, which will not give you sleepless nights. Forgiving has been considered to be among the greatest of virtues. But you can't be forgiving if you are weak. There is a Hindi poem which I recall. क्षमा शोभती उस भुजंग को जिसके पास गरल हो. Kshama means forgiveness. Shobhati, forgiveness appeals, or it is best suited for that bhujang, that means for that snake, जिसके पास गरल हो, उसका क्या जो दंतहीन विषहीन विहीन विरल हो. क्षमा शोभती उस भुजंग को जिसके पास गरल हो, उसका क्या जो दंतहीन विषहीन विहीन विरल हो. Forgiveness is a quality which should be exhibited by people who are strong, who are brave. A person who is intrinsically weak, जिसको हाथ लगाओ तो गिर जाएगा, जिसमें जान ही नहीं है, how can he be a forgiving person? Okay, so 5 robbers come to you and somebody points a gun at you and says, okay, I forgive you. But that is a majburi, na? Forgiveness is a very great virtue. One who forgives, mostly a person with greater character, greater strength, greater resources, forgives the other person. A snake which is lying in one corner, and a snake which is not venomous, and if anybody who passes by that snake kicks that snake around, and the snake is able to do nothing, it is not that he is unforgiving, it is because he does not have the strength to retaliate. So forgiveness is a quality which is best vested with people who are strong. So Pakistan cannot forgive India. Pakistan is not half as strong as India. But in her magnanimity after the 1971 war, Shrimati Indira Gandhi, she forgave Pakistan. And when Bhutto came for the Simla agreement, on his knees, without any precondition, She returned all the captive soldiers, I don't know how many thousands, and their army officers to Pakistan. So Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister of India, forgave Pakistan for its misadventures and misdemeanors because she was a strong lady, a strong leader of a strong country. So forgiveness is a huge virtue. It's a huge value. Another instrumental value is helpful, who work for the welfare of others. Helpful also, see, let's contrast helpfulness and ambitious. A person whose paramount value is ambitious, he will be less helpful to people who are not in a position to help him today or tomorrow. Understand this. People who are very ambitious, they plan, they will say, okay, what do I get if I help this person right now? Will he be an ally? Will he be my collaborator in future times? Would he be able to would he be able to reciprocate? Would he be able to help me back? But people who are generally helpful in nature, they don't think about whether this person will be able to help me back or whether this person will tom my helpful nature. He will broadcast my act of goodness to him. They don't think like that. Honesty, to be sincere, to be truthful, is considered to be a very big instrumental value. Imaginative, somebody who's daring and creative, it's an imaginative value. Independent, independence is a highly cherished value. You are self-reliant, you are self-sufficient. To be intellectual is a value. People try to develop their intellect by reading books, by introspecting, by meditating, by practicing what they read. They are able to develop their intellect. It is said that our Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, he could speak 6 languages and he had excellent historical knowledge of each country whose relationship had a bearing on India's economy or India's military strength or on India's standing in the world order. He was able to develop, he was a very intellectual Prime Minister. He was able to develop his intellect by being a ferocious reader. And not only did he read, he introspected upon what he read and he formed his opinion after deliberating with several people whom he considered to be higher than him in terms of intellect. Logical, to be consistent, to be rational. Now, let us see imaginative and logical. A logical person may not, because a logical person analyzes too much, he will know that this result can have, will make a fishbone diagram. If I do this, this is what will happen. If this happens, then these two things can happen. He will think logically. It is possible that a person who is very highly logical person, he may be less creative, he may be risk averse, he may be averse to taking risks in life. These are all values for achieving the terminal value. Loving nature. Obedient. Obedience is a value. Obedient means you are dutiful, you are respectful. Somebody who's obedient may not be very courageous. I'm not saying anybody who's disobedient is courageous, or I'm not saying who's obedient is not courageous, or anybody who's courageous is not obedient. I'm not saying that. But आपके अंदर जो 2 गुण होते हैं ना, उनमें से एक गुण भारी होता है. So one gets precedence over the other quality. polite, responsible. What is responsible? If you can depend upon a person, he is responsible. He will own up the act. To be self-controlled is also an instrumental value. ये नहीं कि आपको जो चीज पसंद आ गई उस चीज को प्राप्त करना चाहो, चाहे वो लीगली आपकी है, चाहे आपका उस पर मौलिक अधिकार है कि नहीं, नैतिक अधिकार है कि नहीं, या वो आपके पहुंच की बाहर है. These are 18 instrumental values. This completes the Rocky value system. 18 instrumental values and 18 terminal values. Various individuals will rank the terminal values differently, and based upon what their ranking is, they will consciously, subconsciously or unconsciously pick up instrumental values. A study of these values makes us understand human nature in a better manner. So while we deal with our teams, while we deal with our people who report to us, people who are our peers, or people whom we report to, or to the leadership team, or to any other stakeholder, understanding these values, understanding what values the other person holds dear to himself, we would be in a better position to understand that person and to win over that person. It will result in more harmonious relationship between people. This is the advantage of understanding the values. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture. It is very complicated, but I assure you, if you go through this video presentation and then once we discuss this in the class, you will have a much better, a much clearer understanding of these concepts. Thank you.